What's up? So this is a week number 5, January the 30th through February the 5th weekly wrap up for you guys. And the week started off, well, like last week. I know you guys, if you watched last week's video, you would have known that I was having some car trouble. So I took my car in and, things like that. And yeah, this week it decided to die. It's now dead. My car is dead. Completely. And I am stressed. I'm stressed about that. I am not looking forward to buying a new car. And I would prefer to have a new car just because my last car, yes, I understand that it's like 13 years old. It was a certified pre-owned as well. And it's obvious that whoever had it before me did not report that it was in a pretty major accident. And we're thinking that all the things that are wrong with the car itself, even after 13 years, or things that have went wrong with this car, are probably because of the accident not being reported. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards getting a new car, something that has not been driven, or something that is maybe like brand new but not new certified, i.e. Has been on the lot and now it's hit the threshold of the dealership not being able to use it as a test drive car type thing. That might be okay, but other than that, yeah, I've been having to drive my husband's car. And if you've noticed in pictures, or if you've seen pictures, my husband has a Dodge 1500. It's super high. When we first got it, I about fell out of it before he got the side rails on it. And I wasn't very happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy driving it. It's too high for me. It's like way too high. And I can barely touch the freaking gas and the brake pedal. And it's just, I don't like driving it. Anyways, so that is my current dilemma that I am in for life. Kiddo got to meet the Olympian Elizabeth something or another yesterday, and I'm super proud of him for doing that. And he had a lot of fun, learned some things, and the Winter Olympics are on and it's fun watching those with the fam. And we did some television watching. Well, I did some television watching. Actually, Saturday we did a lot of television watching. If you watch my daily reels for Saturday, there was a lot of television watching that went on. I also got my copy of Happily Ever After, cookbook. Oh my goodness. So all of these recipes are inspired by different books, and the main reason I bought it was for the beignets that are inspired by my favorite author, Alethea Romig's. Okay, that's the last page. Devil's Deal. When I found out for that one, Devil's Deal, was in here, I was like, buying it. But it's a pretty, little hefty little thing here, cookbook and everything like that. It's 100+ pages with I'd say probably about 50 or so different recipes. So I'm thinking I might do something like fun with that. Let me know down in the comment section, if that's something you would be interested in seeing, some of the recipes sort of made and then like the book featured, or me reading the book to see if it actually fits with the recipe type thing. That would be fun. I know for a fact that Alethea's does. Devil's Deal is set in New Orleans, and New Orleans is known for their beignets. I'm really excited to sort of be able to create these beignets because they're not the normal beignets that you usually see. So I'm kind of interested in making them because they're vanilla cream beignets. So yeah, it's definitely something I want to try. They sound very, very interesting. So other than that, let's get into the books that I did read last week. Started off the week, I finished The Birthday List, which is Mason Jar #1 by Devney Perry, placing this in romantic suspense, giving it 4 stars, giving it 3 Steam fans, had it as an audiobook, and there are content warnings for death, grief. There is some cold case stuff going on, and the suspense comes in the fact that we're dealing with the cold case as well as some drug use that's going on. I felt a little disconnected with this story. I normally like Devney's romantic suspense level type storytelling because most of her books have a level of romantic suspense that goes along with it, but I felt a little disconnected with this one. So this story follows Poppy, whose husband ends up, I think it was her husband or maybe it was her fiance, I'm not exactly sure, but he ends up getting killed, and Cole is the police officer that happens to tell her about it. And then we fast forward quite a few years, I want to say like 5 or 10 years is fast forwarded, and then they come into each other's sort of orbit again and start a romantic relationship. But Poppy is finishing her dead husband's birthday list. He had made sort of a bucket list slash, which is now considered a birthday list, things that he wanted to do for each birthday, because he felt like a bucket list was too morbid. So he went with things that he wanted to do for each one of his birthdays and things like that. So Poppy ended up taking up the mantle of that. And yeah, so there was that. So like I said, I felt a little disconnected just because it really lived in Poppy and her dead husband sort of realm, and then to throw on top of there her Poppy's and Cole's relationship, and then to throw on top of that this level of romantic suspense for the murder mystery around who actually killed her husband at the grocery store. So yeah, it was just like it was a little too many thoughts plastered onto one. Then I finished Spice Cake, which is Lunchtime Chronicles number 32 by Keta Kendric. I'd place this in contemporary interracial relationship novella, giving it 4.5 stars, giving it 3 Steam fans, had it as an ebook / KU, or is available on KU. This is a Black author, and I absolutely loved this book. Loved it oh so much. So we have Renata, who according to her friends is not very sensitive and or conscious of her of the Caucasians that are around her, and pretty much gives like is not a very nice person to the Caucasians in her life or in the workplace, things like that. So her friends get her together and suggest that she goes to a racial sensitivity training and therapy sessions. So we have Renata going there. And on the flip side, we have Rook, who is approached by one of his best friends that is told, you do that same racial insensitivity with POC, people of color. So we think that, his best friend is like, you probably want to take this on. So they end up going into the same program. They meet, and the program actually pairs them off as partners through the therapy and the sensitivity training. And I really enjoyed their connection, but as well enjoyed the little tasks that they ended up having to do through the therapy to really explore and explain to them their racial oh my goodness, why can't I say this? Racial insensitivity. Nope. Sensitivity, insensitivity. Or is that even a word? Wow. Insensitivity. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word. So they're insensitivity and insensitive because they're insensitive to the other races that are around them. That was a real rant. Wow. I'm not even sure if I'll leave that in there, but whew, we went through that. Okay. So yes, the two of them hit it off. Loved their story, loved the way that they interacted with each other, and it was just so good. It was so good, especially since there is so much of this sort of maybe I should just stop. Insensitiveness. I hope that works. It just feels weird coming off my tongue. And there is a divide within the book community about things like this. A lot, or from my experience, just in the last couple years, I've seen quite a few, Black women that are really pushing the narrative of, everything black, 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 black. And that's the only thing that you can, be involved with it. If you're not, then you're anti-black. And I really enjoyed the fact that Keta took this topic on, is where I'm going with this. There, enough of that. Next, I read Sweet Liar, which is Dirty Sweet Duet number 1 by Laurelin Paige, placing this in sort of dark romance, maybe taboo/taboo, because there really isn't any morally gray things that are going on within this, but there is a taboo element of this story. So I'm giving it 3 stars, giving it 2 Steam fans. Listen to it as an audiobook, and I think maybe that's where the disconnect came from. I also had received this book, this actual full duet, from one of the PR companies that I work with, and I am very sad to say that I'm giving it 3 stars because it was enjoyable. I made it through it, but there were a lot of things that I rolled my eyes at and was just like, this just didn't work for me. So we have Dylan, who is this billionaire CEO, and then we have Audrey, and she wants to have her sexual awakening and with Dylan, and Dylan is I think 19 years older than her, so there's an age gap thing going on. But Dylan is also Dylan is also a single father and has to deal with sort of an unruly baby mama and have baby mama drama, and it just felt weird. It just felt really weird. It was just like, I'm not understanding the story. Next thing I read was A Chance for Us, which is Willow Creek Valley number 4 by Corinne Michaels. Placed this in contemporary, giving it 4.25 stars, giving it 2.5 Steam fans. Had this as an arc. It releases either this week or next week. I believe it's this week because I think it's like February the 11th it releases, just before Valentine's Day. So in the story, we have Marin, we have Oliver. There are a lot of content warnings for this. And Marin, she is dealing with the possibility of her dying father dying, but she wants to get married beforehand. Then we have Oliver, who is the family sort of do-good, and he has sort of a hero complex. And Marin ends up coming to the resort and is like, hey, Oliver, I need you to pretend marry me so that my dying father can walk me down the aisle. So, content warnings, here we go. We have cancer, we have death of a parent, we have warring in-laws, we have grief that is talked about, and I think that's it. Now, overall, I normally enjoy Corinne's books. However, I'm finding that I am finding a dislike for them in some ways, because one of the twists that ends up happening in this book just didn't seem necessary, and it was just like, oh, are you taking a page out of Colleen Hoover's book and just adding trauma to add trauma? Because was this really needed? Was it really? I was already in my heartstrings because of something else, and now you want to throw this on as well, and then to have it so quickly just kind of turn around, it was just like, was that really necessary? Was it really? I don't think it was. The next book that I finished, I have a hair. The next book that I finished was Watermelon Sugar, which is Lunchtime Chronicles number 33 by Loren. Placing this in contemporary, interracial relationship novella, and giving it 4.25 stars, giving it 4 Steam fans. This is available as an ebook, or I had it as an ebook, available on KU, Black author, and this is a sports romance, and I am here for this story. Woo! So we have Rebel, we have Ainsley, and if you have watched the movie Love and Basketball, it's going to give you all these feels. It's going to give you all the feels that you had in that movie in a 2-hour novella that starts you off on page 1 with a massive, massive spicy scene. And you're just like, I did a whole TikTok on it, and it was just like, okay, so this is where we're going with this, and I'm here for it. So we have a basketball player, Rebel, whose basketball team ends up getting shut down, and it's actually very similar to some of the news stories that have been going around as well. She's a female basketball player, like I said, and Ainsley is, or Ansel is a very good-looking coach of the team that ends up picking up Rebel after Rebel's team gets sold within the league. And then there's some things that end up happening. The two of them have to sort of navigate their relationship as well as having that coach player dynamic and things like that. So yeah, I found it to be a very good read. I really enjoyed it and think more people should read it. Go read it. It's so good. Next, I finished reading Mocha, Choca, Latte. This is Lunchtime Chronicles number 34 by Posey Parks, and placing this in contemporary interracial relationship or romance novella, giving it 4.25 stars, giving it 4 Steam fans. Had this as an ebook through KU. This is a Black author, and this is another sports romance. This is a bit of a forbidden romance and a romantic suspense thrown in there as well. I kind of enjoyed this one. So we have Aria, who is the football coach's daughter, and then we have Josh, who is the star quarterback, and they had a chance look when Josh was in college back in the day, and then they were split apart, and he has been looking for this mystery woman for pretty much all of his life. And then come to find out, he runs into Aria at a bar and finds that she has some of the same mannerisms as his mystery woman. So he approaches her and ends up asking her, was this you? And she's like, no, that wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. And so they end up having a one-night stand turned one night or one weekend sort of thing. And then they find out that they are more connected than they thought they were, and have to navigate that relationship from then on. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked the little action part that Posey ends up putting in there. I was a little thrown off by it initially because I was like, how is this? And then once it starts to unfold, I was like, that's how that goes. And yeah, okay. I will not doubt you again, Posey. Will not doubt you again. Then I finished Tequila Sunrise. Tequila Rose, which is Tequila Rose number 1 by Willow Winters, placing this in new adult, sort of contemporary. It's a duet, giving it 4 stars, giving it 2 Steam fans. Had this as an audiobook through Hoopla. This story starts with Magnolia and Brody having a one-night stand. Within that, she ends up becoming pregnant. She ends up having the kid, and she goes back to her small town after the sort of one-night stand, and Brody and Magnolia don't talk again. In turn, Magnolia and James, who is the reason that Magnolia decided to do the one-night stand with Brody, because her and James ended up breaking up. She goes out, has a one-night stand with Brody, and her and James are now sort of in this quasi-relationship, sort of, not really. So they're dealing with that, and we have like this dynamic going on, and it's a very interesting dynamic. This does leave you on a cliffhanger. It is small town. I felt a little disconnected because we get a lot of the attraction, I guess you could say, between Brody and Magnolia, and you're rooting for them, but then you have this like lingering fruit of James out there that you're like, Magnolia is still considering him, but not giving us reasons why she's considering him. And then the cliffhanger is just like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? And then there's some other discord within the story that I'm just like, how is this all fitting together? How is this all fitting together? In true Willow Winters fashion, though, I'm sure she is going to give me all the answers in the second book. But we will see. We will see. Right now, I'm feeling disconnected. And then the final book that I read last week was Italian Ice, which is Lunchtime Chronicles number 35 by S. London, placing this in romantic suspense. This is an interracial relationship novella, giving it 4 stars, giving it 3 Steam fans. Had it as an ebook through KU, Black author. And the reason I have a disconnect with this one is because I was looking forward to this character. We have Savino and we have Paisley, who have been friends or in each other's orbits and, you know, what have you, since they were kids. And Savino and Paisley's brother are best friends. And he's been warned off. But Savino also has this dark sort of lingering family history, and that kind of might put Paisley in a bad place. And we get to see all of that kind of play out as they are older. Oh, by the way, Paisley is a singer, and some things end up happening to her when she's older, after she has requested Savino be at one of the clubs that she is singing in, and they go from there. So yeah, but there was a little bit of a disconnect, but at the same time, Sierra ends up giving us a little tidbit of what's to come, and I'm actually here for that, because even though I was disconnected from this story, I have a feeling that all things shall be revealed within some of the books that are coming up, that our characters are mentioned and, you know, hinted to. So looking forward to that. So what am I currently reading? I am currently reading Bad Timing by Kristie Leigh. This is a marriage of convenience, fake dating maybe, or fake marriage maybe, for an inheritance. It starts off with a really cute, really funny, really more funny meet cute than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't completely here for it, but I'm like about 50% into the story, and I'm like, okay, you're giving me something. You're giving me something to work with, and I'm kind of enjoying it. Then we have Passion Fruit by Wright, which is the last book in the Lunchtime Chronicles for season 4. I am happy that season 5 has been announced, so looking forward to those. I'm also going to be reading The Lies You Love and The Love You Hate by Rachel Robinson. This is a duet that I talked about, I think 2 videos ago or 2 weeks ago. I'm going to be reading that this week because I'm jonesing. I'm feeling a need for some military romance, and I'm pretty sure that this is a military kind of romantic suspense story. If it's duet or if it's about 2 couples, not exactly sure, but kind of feeling a need for this right now. And then I will be reading the second book, Autumn Night Whiskey by Willow Winters, which is the second book to Tequila Rose. So yeah, there's that. Alrighty, so there is my reviews for the 5th week of 2022. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Make sure you're giving this video a like. Let me know that you watched it, and I will see you guys in another video.